Before we get into today's video, I just need to remind everyone I'm not a financial advisor. You must do your own due diligence. Please take today's video as entertainment only. Yeah.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Something that happens by chance, I think not. What's the crack, everyone? Welcome back to Buy Wholesale. I hope, of course, you are all well. Before we get into today's video, can I please ask everyone to like and subscribe to the channel? We're 8 people away from hitting 1,000. 4 months ago, if you had told me that in 4 months I would be at 1,000 subscribers, I would have laughed. But you have all made that possible. So thank you very much for everyone that has subscribed. And anyone new to the channel, please like it. Help a man out. Come on, guys. You can also get me on Instagram now, BHSDMV for that. A lot of good stuff on that. You would have seen my exciting trades on Tesla. Once we broke the 700 mark last Monday, I tried to jump on the 5 times leverage because I'm really bullish that once we got over the 700 resistance that we keep hitting over the last sort of 6 weeks, that we would have eventually throbbed. Last Monday, I thought that was going to be the case, but unfortunately, the resistance just proved to be too strong. We pulled back a bit, but as of Monday, yesterday, the thing has went and it's throbbed, guys, absolutely throbbed, and we're laughing. I've won 5 times leverage on that trade, up 25%. It's opened up 2.5% today, so that'll be another 12.5%. So leverage is dangerous. It's very dangerous, but when you know a stock very well and you know the chart reading, you know the resistance zones, you can use all that to your advantage. My plan is to at least keep the leverage going until 800. So if you want to see how that's going, by all means, get me on the Instagram. Also, check out the links in the description below for my writer's article. Keep plugging that, guys. I'm going to stop plugging that soon, I promise you, but just a wee bit more plugging happening on that. So it's a good read. And also, you can see a link to free trade. Now, it's important to have diversity in your portfolio. You will see the trades that I'm doing on Instagram is through eToro. Most of my money is in trading 212, and I've got other platforms as well, including free trade, which I like, the out of sight, out of mind kind of stocks. That's what I do with that account, and I've got Revolut for my crypto. The list goes on. I advise everyone to have more than at least 2 or 3 different brokers. Spread your money, spread the risk, have different strategies. That would be my tip. So hit free link down below to get a free share up to £200, guys. So without further ado, we can now get into today's video. Okay, guys, so today's video is actually an update on Hyliion. Hyliion, I did a video exactly 1 month ago, pretty much, on the 12th of March. I did a video on why I believe it's a decent enough stock. I'm going to be quite bullish on it. You know, the battery situation that they're supposedly proposing looks very, very good on the face of it. And their financials didn't look too bad based on the last financial statement. So, look, I'm not going to talk about all that good stuff. If you want to know about Hyliion and my review of Hyliion, go in and check out the previous video. I'll leave the link here for you guys for easiness. Go on and have a check of that. But today, I just want to talk about what I talked about in that previous video. So here's a snippet of my prediction. One last thing I noticed was that they didn't actually report any of the revenue from their early orders that they got in. So that's a good thing for the next balance sheet. You know, the next quarter, that will be baked in. So that's an interesting little sort of boost. And maybe that's what they're trying to do. End the year, the pandemic year, all the stuff behind them, you know, end that year and start the new year off fresh. So it's maybe worth a punt. I'm definitely considering it. I think I might even put a target on this of about 10. Falls down to that, I would probably open a position on these guys because I'm kind of looking at the stuff they've got. Again, like anything, it's very speculative, but on the face of it, this company's looking good, and I actually think they've moved on quite a bit since when I first moved out of my position in December. So as I said, guys, I was hoping to get this down to about $10 and I would open up a position. The alert went at $10. I pulled up the RSI, I pulled up the MACD graphs, had a look at it, and I didn't open up a position yet. Today, my plan is to open up a position. I thought I'd just see if we can get below the $9.50. It did tip that and went up yesterday, so maybe I've missed a boat, but the graphs didn't quite tell me. The indicators just said maybe you can just get this a wee bit lower, so I'm just going to see. But either way, I'm going to be getting it below $10. I think that's pretty much a guarantee at this stage, which I'm delighted about. It shows you that the patience pays off, and just because you think a stock's good, you know, you still got to use your indicators. You still gotta step back and just have a look at the wider scope of things and just think maybe I can get this a bit better, or there is perhaps a better entry point, or if in doubt, at least open up and average your position. And that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I'm going to open up, not balls deep, but going to open up a position just in case this pulls back a bit more. But see, at the prices that you're getting this kind of company for, at this kind of beer, it's been well worth the wait. Bear in mind, at one stage, guys, I was in on this stock at like $35. You know the history on it. I made good money on it, $35, $45, $55. God almighty. The thing shot up. So, I mean, when you look at it now, you know, it's a fifth of the highs. Jeez, it's less than a fifth of the highs. It's incredible, guys, the drop this thing's had. And the stuff that I talked about in my previous video, I believe this stock really could throb. So let's just see what some of the new news articles. Is there a reason why this has continued to fall? And then they'll give a bit of a roundup on it at the end. Okay, so if we just Google Hyliion stock, you're going to see all this clickbait. The trend is no longer Hyliion's friend. The cracks are beginning to show in the Hyliion stock. Hyliion shares are still undervalued while the market waits. Hyliion holders is now oversold. Blah, blah, blah. But it's just clickbait. Hyliion's a hot topic. People are a bit confused to what's going on. And I have my own thesis on why this stock is going down and why I believe it is a buy right now. So if we pull out the year chart, you can see here when it went up, and you know my previous history, and we do see that it's got up in and around $60 a share, and now we sit right here below where it even came out on the sort of the IPO. We're right down at $9.80. Incredibly low. So yes, in my attention, my price alert went off, and we've got down to the point that I thought the support, guys, was in and around sort of the low teens. Then on this news, this was the day when the exciting battery news I talked about in the previous video, best battery, you know, rock hard, all this and thing got going. But what's happened here, guys, is everybody's got on the horn. If we look at the volume here, 69 million volume, guys. That is just everybody jumping on, everybody, all the Reddit guys, all the friggin' anybody, and your auntie and donkey and granny, everybody is jumping on this here because they think this is going back to the moon. And if you were jumping on it at $20 and you're looking at the $60, you're thinking I could 2-3x, this could be the start of it. Unfortunately, it wasn't the start of it. And the reason I believe it wasn't the start of it, we'll get into in a moment, but it's went back down. And unfortunately, it has fell through the support that was at 15, and now it's creating a new support. And I believe this will be the new support in and around sort of the $9-10. So why am I buying? It's because I believe that the stock is massively undervalued at this year, or for a long-term hold, and has great potential. I've talked about a lot of it in previous video. I'm not going to go over it. I'm just going to highlight a couple of things here. So if we bear in mind the 69 million volume that I had on the news of the Great Battery Day, average volume is 7.5 million. Wow, that's one hell of a difference. So that is going to send this thing crazy. It initially shot it straight up, and then once people start going off and see that it's not going to double your money, it tanked hard, guys, and that is why it's pulled back. Just to throw a bit of bullish magic onto this here, the reason I like Hyliion, and I talked about in my previous video, is that the semi-trucks, I think that there's a need for that. I think converting old semi-trucks, they're big cost units, and the old trucker man driving about in the big trucker, diesel, and all that jazz, they'll not want to get rid of their big trucks. So this is a valuable option for them. You can see here, currently in the situation with the big diesel trucks, they're providing cheaper, ticks a box. The future solutions though, the likes of the Tesla, and obviously Nikolai as well, you can see here 438, 637.5 versus 280. And that's the difference, guys, over the total ownership. The cost up front lower, fuel cost is significantly lower. So when you consider all that, that's bullish. Statement one. Second statement, if you go down here, is the current infrastructure. And this is valuable, guys, because you got to think about it. It's all well and good having the best product or whatever, but if you don't have the infrastructure to make it viable, no trucker's going to want to be driving from state to state. And you bear in mind, they're on time scales, they're on deadlines. You know, the time is money to these guys. The quicker they can get to the station, the quicker they can get their head down. They don't want to be driving about going, where the hell can I get energy for this here? So current infrastructure, mind blowing. Just look at that. I'm not even speaking out. Just look at that. 729, less than 10. So just think about all that, guys. That's the only bullish statement I'm going to make on this one. So that's the video, guys. You chose this video last month, and I thought it was worthwhile giving you an update as my price alert went. Nothing's changed that I can see. The fundamentals still look good. Everything I talked about in the previous video looks very good. So I think at these prices you really can't go wrong. So yeah, I'm going in, guys, and the biggest explanation, the best explanation that I can give for the recent price drops is purely the NASDAQ correction, and a stock like Hyliion, which is speculative, which isn't making much money, is a prime candidate for going down when there is a correction. So we're starting to bottom out. Fingers crossed, guys, with a wee bit of luck and averaging in over the next week, we get a nice cost basis, and then the next month and all that good stuff, guys. If you found this video informative, if you're bullish on Hyliion, give this video a like, give it a subscribe, please. You're really doing me a favor. And don't forget, this video was originally a you request vote. You voted for this vote, and that's all done through my Twitter, and we currently have our live vote now for the next Twitter vote. So get on, get casting, and until next time, guys, get me on Instagram. Peace.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
Something that happens by chance, I think not.